Hey class, so here is my attempt at doing concentric circles. So I was looking at the assignment and it wants us to write a program that starts by drawing the largest circle and then continues doing circles, then decreases by 20. That doesn't seem too bad. That's basically just a for loop, and then where you do x plus plus, you would just do x plus equals 20. So you would decrease by 20 each time. My hesitation comes from this part right here. The circle colors alternate between red and black. So to do that, we would have to have the odd circles be red and the even circles be black, and that would be done with a modulus. That thing where I told you it's the remainder. So that would be one way. But now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if I couldn't do a red circle and that decreases by 20, and then a black circle that decreases by 40, and alternate that? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But first of all, I'm talking circles. So let's go and find a circle and add that, and then we'll start messing with it. So I'm going into my documentation, I'm grabbing graphics, and I'm looking for a circle. Grabbing that circle, and pasting it in, and then of course I'm adding my circle. Remember, don't forget to add your circle. Okay, and the circle looks like it's already red, so let's go to output and see what we have. There's my circle. Okay, now let's get this circle to be 200. Okay, and let's set a radius, so I'm not using a number. So let's set our radius up here. Let's do var radius is equal to 200, and then we can substitute that 50 for radius, which is 200. Alright, let's try that. Okay, we've got a big circle now. Now the position, I think I'm going to go ahead and start just right smack in the middle. So remember, that just basically means, let's do another var. Let's do a var x is equal to get the width. So I want JavaDuce to go over there and get the width of my my screen. And I need him to divide that by 2 because that would be the middle, right? Yeah, I can, yeah, we can do that. Divided by 2. So that would be the middle, and I'm going to do the same thing for y. Get height. Okay, divided by 2. Then here I can replace just x and y. X and y. Let's run that. Get height. It didn't like the way I spelled height, I think. Let me see. No, I'm just being dumb. I forgot my equal sign right there. Oops. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty centered. So, I can copy this whole thing. Control copy. And then I can just make this one black. Okay, so now I have a red circle and a black circle on top of it, but how do I get it to go from the red to the black, and how do I get the circles to be smaller each time? So the answer would be a for loop, because remember, when we have repeat code, we can change some variability of it and repeat it. So let's try getting a for loop. So I'm going to grab a control statement of a for loop, and I'm going to grab my code, control copy, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to get rid of that one, but don't forget to re-add it, because when you open something you have to close it. There it is. Okay, so right now, let's see. we have this circle happening, but nothing is changing, right? Nothing is changing. If I run this, I'm going to get an error because I haven't told it what count is. And even if I had told it what count is, there's nothing changing. My circle, there's no value in my circle that's changing. So I have to figure out what it is that I want to change. And it's my size that I want to change because I want my circle to be smaller each time. So somehow I have to tie my radius to my I, because that's the only value that's changing each time. Okay, so I think my count would have to be that 200. So I don't want to be any smaller than 200. So I want to start at 200. There we go. I'm going to start at 200 and I'm going to go down to, I don't think I want to go down to 0 because then my circle would disappear. Maybe I'll go down to 1. So as long as 200 is greater than 1. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we're starting big and we're going small. Now over here, I want to plus equals 20. So that's my circle, and that looks basically like this. That is I is equal to I plus 20. Oops, it's not plus 20, it's going to be minus 20. Dummy. Okay. Right there, minus 20. Okay, so we want 20 to go down from 200 each time. Okay, and then think about the very last time. So we'll have 20 minus 20, which would give us 0. 0 is not greater than 1, and so then our circle will stop. Okay? Okay, that makes sense. So now I could do radius minus... Okay, so I'm starting off at 200, and then if I subtract I would be subtracting 200, which would give us, okay, 200 minus 200, which would give us 0. That wouldn't work. Okay, so radius minus, I'm trying to think of, okay, the first time it goes through, we want it to subtract 0. The second time it goes through, we want it to subtract 20. The third time, another 20. So I think I did it wrong again. So we start off at 200. How would I subtract? Because this would be subtracting. Oh, maybe this would work. Maybe this will work. Okay. Let me try it. You know, I'm not losing anything by trying it. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'll fix it. Okay. Let me comment that out just so that it's not in my way for right now. Let's clear that and run this. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It very well could be all the circles, but since they're all red, I can't tell if they're shrinking in size or not. So I'm going to change this to random red so that I can see what color it changes to. Down here, random red. Okay, I just wanted to make sure on my caps before I did it. Random red. Okay, output. Let's run that again. Yeah, no, it didn't like it. Did I get that random red right? Let's go back again. Color dot random red. Oh, right there. It was a function, so it wasn't looking. Yeah, no, it's not. It's running, but it is not doing what I want it to do. Okay, So let's think about it again. If I start off at 0 and I am less than 200, and I'm subtracting, so I would plus 20 each time. Okay, I would plus 20 each time. So then I start off at 0, I want to get up to 200, and then I am plussing 20 each time. So then I can start off with my radius of 200, and each time I'm adding I. Oh, I was just thinking about it wrong. Okay, that makes more logical sense because, okay, so we're starting off with a radius of 200. So remember, radius is 200 from here. Then I'm adding I. So the first time I go through my loop, I'm adding 0. So my circle is 200. The second time I go through, I will be adding 0 plus 20. So my second circle will be 220. So I need to subtract I. Okay, so let's think about it again. So I'm starting at 200 and I'm subtracting 20. Then so then I go through my loop again, and I would have 20, is 20 less than 200? Yes. And then I would have 20 plus 20, which would give me 40. So then my radius would be 200 minus 40. Yes, this is it. Okay, I think this is it. Yes. Okay, look at that. All right, beautiful. So those things right here are what trip. This is the hard part because it's the logic part behind it. The code part you can just get, but the logic sometimes gets you. All right, so we've got our circle going down the way that we need it to. Now, how do we change that from red to black, red to black, red to black? Well, one way would be that if we did this in a modulus, we could do an if it's, because remember I goes through, no, I is going through 20 each time. First I is 20, then the second I would be 40, and then 60, and then, okay, so that wouldn't work for me. So I would have to think on this one. I'm thinking. Okay, let me think some more. Okay, so I was thinking. So we've got, and as you can tell, I figured it out. So what I was trying to figure out is how I can use these same values to get a circle that is smaller than the red. And so I was like, well, you can do the even odd thing, and I'm going to show you the solution for that in a second. But then I thought, well, wait, what if I start with a different number? What if I start with 10? That was my first thing. And then when I add 20, then I'll have 30, and then 50. And so my circle would be 10, it would be off by 10, so then that would be my alternating. But when I tried that, I just had one big black circle. Here, I'll show you what I did. So I created a new variable called black. And then I did 10. And then when I came down here and changed this to black, right here, black, and then I added my I. So I was doing the same thing that I was doing up here, except that I added I instead of subtracting, because I don't want to subtract 20 from I, because then I would have a negative circle. So when I ran that, I just had one big black circle. So then I realized, wait, I can't do that because, yeah, my small black circles are in the middle, but they're covering up, my big black circle is covering up the red circle. I probably could have switched the order of these. You know what? I'm curious now because I didn't think of that earlier. Let me try that. Would that work? No, it still didn't work. Okay. So when I saw that, I was like, well, wait. What if I started doing the same thing but opposite. Instead of starting at 10, what if I started at 190 and then went back down? So instead of 200, I have 190 minus 20, which would give me 170. So my circle would be 170. And so then that's what I tried. So, so then I can go back to just plain old minus, because I'm starting at 190 minus 20. And then when I ran that, I got my, darn it. What did I do different? Okay, hang on. Let me put those back in the same order that they were. Although I don't see what that would make a difference of. But, trying it? Yeah. Okay, obviously that did make a difference. So there. That's how I solved it, okay? However, I'm telling you that I'm pretty sure that they are going to use a modulus. So let's look at the solution that they came up with. They are using a while radius is greater than 200. So while 200 is greater than 0, make a circle and then set the position same as me. So this part is identical, except they created a count that if count is 0, 0, then make it red and plus your count. But if it's not red, if circle else, if count, oh, I get it. This is really clever too. So they created a count, and every time that you go through the while loop, because while radius is greater than 0, you're going to add 1. So we added 1, and so if 1 was equal to 0, that still doesn't make sense to me. Oh. So, okay, I get it now. So if 1 was equal to 0, don't do red. 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 20. When 20, that still doesn't make sense to me. How in the world is this happening? What is the... I don't get the counting. Am I missing something? Count is minus, add 0, radius equals radius minus 20. So that gives us the while count. But how is this getting to 0? Okay, let me think. Okay, I was thinking about it wrong. It's not a for loop. So the count resets to 0 or 1. So each time you go through the while loop, count is either 0 or 1. Okay, let's say that we go through the loop the first time and count was 0. So 0 equals 0, and so we would have red, right? Then we would count plus. So then we would have 1. So then we go back through the while loop, and now count is 1, so 1 is not equal to 0. So then we would not be red, so we would make it black. But then we would take that 1 and count minus. So then we would do 1 minus 1, which would get us back to 0. So then the next time we go through the loop, we would have 0 equals 0, so we would have red. And then the next time we go through the loop, we would have that and be black, but then we would go back to 1, back to 0. So you toggle between 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. That is a very clever way. I thought they were going to do modulus. And then down here, they're just adding the circle and they're changing the radius. I actually like mine a little better because I made it. Okay, guys, that is my concentric circles. Feel free to play around with that. And, yeah. All right, bye.